10-man Arsenal unswervingly. Incompetent Liverpool understand the value of Mohamed Salah. The next time Mohamed Salah looks to highlight his importance to Liverpool and prod contract talks along, he does not need to do a photo shoot and interview with a glossy, high street magazine. A DVD of this game would act as Exhibit A. On a night when Jurgen Klopp would have expected his side to take a giant stride towards a significant cup final, his players instead produced only a single attempt on target. That they faced the 10 men of Arsenal for the final 66 minutes of this tie damned them even more. Shorn of their talisman, the hosts were all out of ideas, impotent as an attacking force. And so while last week it was Liverpool who were awash with positives, the original tie postponed due to the results of their lateral flow tests, in a very different way Arsenal departed Anfield clutching their own. A matter of days after criticizing his side's hunger, Mikel Arteta proudly watched his team shrug off the handicap of Granit Xhaka's latest red mist moment to deliver a stirring, tenacious display that the manager will want to become the bedrock of future performances. The one slither of consolation for Klopp is that he has a week to find an improvement before Thursday's second leg at the Emirates. The bad news is that Salah will still be absent. It can feel like Arteta is in a weekly battle to ingrain a new mentality into his squad, and a set of principles to which he wants them to adhere. After the FA Cup debacle against Nottingham Forest on Sunday, when the manager publicly questioned the hunger of his players, he sought a response from them, and a high-octane one at that. Anfield has tended to be a graveyard for Arsenal teams in recent years, especially in the Premier League, but they arrived intent on bravely seeking to press Liverpool at source and stifle their rhythm. Nketiah and Alexandre Lacazette looked to push high, and Xhaka invariably followed. Perhaps they felt more comfortable pursuing such tactics given that Liverpool's firepower was lacking in the absence of both Salah and Sadio Mané, due to their Africa Cup of Nations commitment. When Takumi Minamino delivered a tantalizing cross from the left, Ben White managed to get a toe on the ball with Roberto Firmino primed on his shoulder, and the ricochet whistled across the face of the Arsenal goal, with no one in a red shirt alive to the possibility. Still, it was a strategy that demanded the away side perform everything perfectly, and, by the 24th minute, they had imploded. In the first instance, they failed to make the most of an attack when Bukayo Saka found himself in acres of space on the right but could not conjure the final ball, with Liverpool off guard. Worse than that, the breakdown of such a promising move allowed the hosts to counter. Andrew Robertson sought to play Diogo Jota in behind a stretched back line with a 60-yard pass from deep. It appeared ambitious but arced gracefully into the path of Jota, who was then felled by a crude, desperate challenge from Xhaka that left the forward in a crumpled heap just outside the area. Michael Oliver, the referee, had no hesitation in brandishing a red card to the Arsenal midfielder. All that was left for Xhaka to do was make the familiar trudge to the sideline for the 5th time at the club. In that instant, Arteta's game plan, already affected by the absence of Martin Odegaard due to a positive COVID test, had to change. Nketiah was sacrificed for Rob Holding. Calum Chambers had earlier replaced the injured Cédric Soares, and the formation switched to 5-3-1. Arsenal's ambition was downgraded with it. Yet while Liverpool monopolized the ball, Klopp was unhappy with what they did with it. When one Fabinho pass went straight behind, and not even in the vicinity of a teammate, his manager gesticulated wildly on the touchline, betraying his frustration. Klopp's team looked stale, and by the break they had been unable to muster a single attempt that had forced Aaron Ramsdale into a save. While lacking in attack, Liverpool still had plenty of A-listers to call upon. Klopp has now used 79 different players in 22 League Cup games, but that the latest of those was Alisson, the goalkeeper, spoke volume. The Brazilian had played once since December 19th, and the official reasoning was that he simply needed a game for rhythm. Still, the competition has taken on extra significance with a place at Wembley at stake, and a strong lineup also included Trent Alexander-Arnold. It was his first League Cup appearance in 5 years. The onus was on Liverpool to improve and apply a lot more polish and rather less spit. The questions posed of Arsenal were whether they could maintain their discipline and shape, and if their numerical disadvantage would eventually lead to them tiring. They did. It did not. White expertly marshaled those forming the defensive shell around him. With the pattern of attack versus defense essentially set, however, Curtis Jones was asked to provide more guile by Klopp, and James Milner was replaced. Minamino, who had previously almost caught out Ramsdale with a cross meant for Jota, dissected the 6-yard box with another center, but, again, none of his teammates were in position. The injured Divock Origi was another absentee for Liverpool. Arsenal's resilience was to be admired. Beyond that, they almost seized the lead in the 72nd minute when Kieran Tierney's angled pass was collected by the threatening Saka, only for Alisson's broad frame to deny the winger. Liverpool's night would be encapsulated in the 90th minute, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's cross was punched by Ramsdale only as far as Minamino. From 8 yards out, he skewed a shot into the Kop, unaware that Arsenal had been awarded a foul. Second leg Thursday, January 20th kickoff 7.45 the Emirates TV Sky Sports main event. Referee had no option but to show red. Michael Oliver would have weighed up the points that constitute the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, and granted Xhaka's poor decision and poor tackle would have ticked all the boxes. There was not a lot of distance between the offense and the goal. Diogo Jota was definitely heading towards goal, and the next defender was not close enough to cover. The only thing the referee might have considered in Arsenal's favour was the likelihood of Jota keeping or regaining control of the ball after it came off his chest. Oliver gave himself a bit of time to weigh this up and decided he could have. After that he had no option but to send off Xhaka. That Xhaka didn't mean to foul him does not matter, as intent is irrelevant. Liverpool, Alisson 7, Trent Alexander-Arnold 5, J Matip 6, V Van Dijk 6, A Robertson 5, J Henderson 5, Fabinho 5, J Milner 5, D Jota 6, R Firmino 6, T Minamino 7. Booked Robertson. Arsenal, A Ramsdale 7, C Soares 5, B White 8, Gabriel 8, K Tierney 7, B Xhaka 7, A Lokonga 7, G Xhaka 5, G Martinelli 7, A Lacazette 8, E Nketiah 6. Booked Gabriel. Send off Xhaka.